Welcome to Corey's Conscious Living. Hi guys, do you want to be in the cat club? Do you know what the cat club is? HEIDI, Cherry and VAYA have an exclusive club for members to come and join. It's $7 a month. Every 7th of the month you get 3 exclusive HEIDI, Cherry and VAYA stories that only you get to listen to. No one else that's not in the club gets to get these stories, so they're very special. If you want to know more about it, get a guardian or your mum and dad to help you to look at the link below the video to check out the cat club. Namaste, my little friend. Enjoy your story. Are you ready to meditate with Corey? Lay down, get still and quiet in your bed. Try and slow down your mind and let go of your busy day, so your tired body can relax, and eventually you can fall to sleep and have the best dreams. It had been 2 months, 3 weeks, 3 days, and 7 hours since Stephany had visited Moonbow Forest. It had been a while because she'd been busy with life. She'd been busy with school, she'd been busy with friends, she'd been busy with all of her clubs and activities and hobbies. Life was just crazy busy. It had gotten too busy to the point where she couldn't remember the last time she just felt chilled. You know, just happy and peaceful inside. These days, she always felt like as soon as she got something done, she was on to the next thing that needed doing. As soon as school was finished, she had to get home to do her homework. When homework was done, she had to make sure that she read 2 chapters in her book. When her book was done, she had to make sure that she did her yoga, did her shower, did her teeth. Whatever it was always like a list of things that she felt like she had to do. She couldn't remember the last free day, really free day, where she didn't do anything but just be. It was Friday. School was finished. Stephany got home, ran upstairs, pulled her heavy backpack off her back and threw it on the ground as if to say, "Yes, thank goodness it's Friday." She kicked off her shoes, pulled off her socks, squeezed her toes on her fuzzy rug. It was all different rainbow colours. It was like a shaggy rug in her bedroom and she loved it. She squeezed her toes into it and felt the soft, comfortable carpet underneath her feet. And then she pulled off her uniform and just threw it on the ground. Pulled out a pair of sweatpants and a t-shirt. Sat down on the chair next to her dresser and stared at herself in the mirror. On her dresser, she had a jewelry tree. It was a metal tree that had limbs and branches that went in all different directions. It was made specifically for jewelry, so you could hang your earrings on it, put your rings on it, and your necklaces and your bracelets. It caught her eye. And then her earrings, her very special earrings, caught her eye. She reached out and took a hold of them and held them in her right hand as she looked down at her palm and thought about the last time. How long ago was it? It felt like forever since she'd visited Moonbow Forest. She decided right now in this moment would be the perfect time to just escape, to go to another world, a special, magical world, a place where everything was different. Maybe there she could actually escape for real. She looked at herself in the mirror. She looked deep into her own eyes. They were brown, with sprinkles of green and yellow. Her eyes looked like the trees in autumn. She put on the earrings and she started to feel all of her familiar feelings. She started to get that twitch in her nose and her fingertips started to buzz. She could hear different sounds and noises internally in her head and her ears. She felt the shift starting to happen. She closed her eyes and took a big, deep breath in, as if she was welcoming the change. She was welcoming the journey that she was about to take. It felt for a second like her whole body started to shake and vibrate from the inside out. The curtain was there in front of her face, and she could see it as plain as anything, even though her eyes were shut tight. It looked as if it had a fog, a mist around it. She reached forward with her right hand and pulled the curtain to one side. Beyond the curtain, she could see the trees, the big, tall trees. She took a big, deep breath in and she could smell all the different flavors and smells of Moonbow Forest. She was home. She was in her second home, at least. In her mind, she stepped forward and she felt the familiar feeling of the grass underneath her feet. It was quite warm. It must be a sunny day, she thought. The grass bent and squidged underneath her toes as she squeezed and pulled, just like she had been doing on her shag carpet just a few minutes earlier. She knew she was in Moonbow Forest because she could feel the surge of energy rush through the base of her feet like an electric current, waking her up. She was here. She took a look around, and at first all she saw was trees. Tall trees, smaller trees, chocolate trees, all different colored trees, all different shapes and sizes. She started to walk through the forest. The earth was crunchy, but squidgy underneath her feet. And then way, way off, maybe about 30 paces away or so, she saw her friend, Luna. She spotted her from miles away almost. The silvery coat. She was so beautiful. Just like moonlight, she thought. Luna lifted her head up very quickly and sniffed. She sniffed in Stephany. And then she smiled. She waited patiently, chewing on the blades of grass that happened to be mint chocolate chip flavor. And then as Stephany got closer, Luna stopped chewing and started to walk towards her. Welcome back, Stephany. We've missed you. Stephany reached up around Luna's neck and gave her the biggest hug. And as she did, Luna's unicorn horn glowed brightly. She felt like she heard it, as well as the light. It sounded like an angel singing. The sweetest note. And then when Stephany stopped hugging her, the sound and the light disappeared. What brings you here to Moonbow Forest? Said Luna. Stephany said, well, I just felt called to come. I'm so tired. I'm tired, but I'm not tired. I'm just tired in general. I'm tired of being so busy. I'm tired of just going and going and going, Luna. I'm tired of nothing really fun happening in my world. I'm tired. I need a change. Luna said, it's funny you should say that. Me and the other unicorns were just talking about you yesterday. We must have known you were ready for a visit. We had a meeting of horns. That's when we all bring our horns together in the sacred circle. Our lights unite, and we have the most amazing downloads from the brighter light above, from the light that shines on all of us. The light told me you were coming. The light told me what to do next. Stephany was intrigued. What do you mean? She said to Luna. Luna said, climb on my back, sister. I'll take you and show you. And you'll have an experience. You'll have the experience of exactly what you need. Stephany didn't say another word. She climbed up on the back of Luna, wrapped her fists around Luna's silvery mane, held on tight, and in just a few moments they were flying. She was flying over the forest, over the trees, over the mountains, all of her familiar places. They flew really high this time. They flew for what seemed like a really long time, in total silence. But the quiet The peace and quiet and the breeze in Stephany's hair was so perfect. She felt like she was getting part of what she needed. She needed to have the wind blow through her hair and blow away all of her worries and all of her stresses and all of her pains. It was working. It was as if she was going through some kind of magical car wash where they scrubbed and bubbles and suds and everything just washed her clean. Eventually, it looked like Luna was that high that they were entering some kind of space in the clouds, like the clouds above and around her looked like as if she was entering a gate with big, tall walls all around, so she couldn't see what was beyond the clouds that were formed like this long, big wall and big, massive wooden gate. But it was definitely clouds, and it was definitely a gate. The gate seemed to just open and magically part, and Luna flew through. Stephany looked around really quickly and the gate closed behind her, like they'd gone into some space and time, even further away than Moonbow Forest. It was cold, really cold. She could feel the breeze and how cold it was as she breathed in through her nostrils. The air was really cold in her lungs. Her fingers were getting icy cold as she gripped on Luna's mane. They kept going and going and going until eventually all she could see was like a golden light. The light was warm. Not only did it look warm, the color, but it felt warm, as if Luna was flying towards the sun or something. Everything went from cold to warm. It was nice. It felt like sitting in front of a fire when it's snowing outside. This thought made her think of Christmas, and this thought made her smile inside. It got brighter and brighter and brighter, and then all of a sudden she noticed lots of unicorns, lots and lots and lots, all flying towards them, flying around them, flying from the left, flying from the right. So many unicorns, all different colors. Luna said, "The sisters are here." Luna stopped flying. She was just moving her wings to keep them afloat. The unicorns joined in a circle, all of their horns touching one another. And the brightest beam of light shot from the center of the circle. Luna didn't turn around to talk to Stephany. She spoke to her telepathically. Stephany heard Luna inside of her head say, "Walk towards the golden light. Go be in the golden light, Stephany. You're safe." Stephany said, "Oh no, what if I fall?" Luna said, "We have you. We're all with you. It's time that you become one of us." And then all of the voices of the other unicorns, one by one, kept saying encouraging things. "It's time, Stephany. It's time for you to upgrade. It's time for your journey to begin in a different way. They all kept saying different things. Luna finally said to Stephany, "Walk on my back, across my head, and into the light." Stephany stood up on Luna's back. She wasn't shaky or scared. Her balance was perfect. She took her time and walked across Luna's back towards the golden light. She could feel the weirdest sensations. At first, her body started to move and vibrate and tingle like it does when she goes through the veil. But then it got stronger. Then the sensations felt different. It felt to her as if she was changing and morphing and transforming from the inside out. Like her cells and everything were shape-shifting. She felt herself expand and burst as if she was bursting wide open, removing all the limitations of her physical body. All of a sudden, she felt her neck long and strong. She moved her head and she noticed she had a mane of purple hair, blowing and shifting and moving every time she moved her head. And she turned around and looked at herself, and she was like a grey, violet, purple color. She was beautiful. She had grey and white speckles across her back and purple hair. And she had hair around her hooves, and her hooves were purple. She knew that she had a silver horn, a bright, shiny, sparkly silver horn. Instinctively, she joined her horn with the others. And the feeling that she had when she did that, she could never, ever explain. It was like everything magical in the world, everything that you love, everything that you like, all of your favorite things, times 100 million billion, times magic. And then she still couldn't explain what she felt. But it was the most amazing feeling. All of the thoughts about being busy, about too much work, too much homework, too much school, too much stress, too much drama, too many changes, a growing, changing body, friends, you name it. Everything that had been going through her mind that had been heavily weighing her down and making her feel exhausted was gone. She was just at peace. Bliss. That was it. Pure bliss. She flapped her wings and flew away from the circle, and for the first time experienced what it felt like to be a unicorn. She instinctively just flew. She flew everywhere, all on her own. She flew over the trees. She flew over Pizza Mountain. She flew over the strawberry milkshake river. She flew over all, far and wide, every single thing, every single place in Moonbow Forest. She wanted to see from the eyes of a unicorn. It was such a beautiful place. She liked being a unicorn. It felt very natural. It felt like she'd always been a unicorn. And maybe she had. Maybe many of her lifetimes before she'd been a unicorn. Maybe she was a unicorn right now in a parallel reality, flying through the sky just like this. Stephany flew and flew until eventually a pain started to bother her in her neck. She opened her eyes and noticed that she'd fell asleep on her dresser in her bedroom. She looked down at her body, and it was Stephany's body. She had her sweats on and her t-shirt. It had gone dark outside. The fairy lights over her bed were twinkling, and Stephany smiled. That was exactly what she needed. She climbed into bed, pulled up the covers, and had the best night's sleep that she'd had for the longest time. The end.